This is a government issue language course. The United States Department of State Foreign Service Institute language courses were produced primarily in the 1960s, which was the heyday of excellent language course production, and these courses are no exception. These are amazingly thorough and well-designed courses, and if you can make your way through one of these, there's no question that you'll get a very solid grounding in a language. They have peculiar style, though, a peculiar style that might not make them suited to you to use them as they were designed to be used, and we'll talk about that. Here's in the introduction to this Hungarian method. I hope the text is clear. Sometimes in my videos they are, sometimes they're not. If this is interesting to you and you want to see these courses anyway, just look for FSI language courses and you'll be able to download this Hungarian course and lots of others. Maybe about half of their courses are available for free download online. And this introduction here is about the most thorough exposition that I've seen of their basic method and procedure. So you can read about it here. It talks about the main principles being guided imitation, repetition, memorization, pattern practice, and conversation. And then their key idea down here is overlearning. The student should not only be able to give the correct, in this case, Hungarian sentence upon hearing the English equivalent at random selection, but he should also be able to give the correct Hungarian statement with equal ease and speed of response upon hearing its Hungarian cue. So, in other words, you repeat and drill and repeat and drill and repeat and drill until you get a Pavlovian reaction and you can give the correct response immediately upon being prompted. Then it talks about the different kinds of drills, pattern drills, substitution drills, transformation drills, conversion drills, and the like. And so this is a good place to read about the methodology. To see how it works, let's go to a course I actually used that was very helpful to me in my study of Korean. Here's the volume 2 of their Korean basic course, and in unit 19 it's Seoul Station Information. Each course, each lesson starts with a basic dialogue that's always broken down into pieces and then fed to you backwards. So you get, for example, at Seoul Station Information, guidance, information booth. At the Seoul Station Information booth, Taejeon bound train, excuse me, what time's the next train to Taejeon? And so you get the whole dialogue given to you about 4 or 5 times, broken up and fed to you backwards in that fashion before you hear it at once full through at full speed. Then you get notes to the dialogue and grammatical sort of instruction. And then you come to the drills, which are the heart of the course. And they work in various fashions. Here's a substitution drill. And so what you would hear on the tape is, excuse me, what time is the next train to Taejeon? And then you're given words spit out at you, Busan and passenger train. And on that model, you need to come up with this sentence. In a blank space, it's given to you. What time is the next passenger train to Busan? And then you hear that response given to you. Then you hear airplane, Jeju. And you need to come up with, what time is the next airplane to Jeju? Bus, Yeongdeungpo. What time is the next bus to Yeongdeungpo? That's how a substitution drill works. A response drill works like this. You hear one set of sentences. Will you leave by express? Yes, I'm going to leave by express if possible. And then you hear, will you come to my house this weekend? And in the blank space, you need to come up with the sentence, yes, I'll try to come if possible. Then you hear that. Will you continue to study Korean in Korea? You hear a blank space, you need to come up with, yes, I'm going to continue if possible. And then you're given that exact sentence to correct yourself. That's how a response drill works. Substitution drills, response drills. Here's another kind of drill, is the combination drill. You're given, I drank a lot yesterday, I have a headache today. And you need to come up with, I drank a lot yesterday and I have a headache today. I met Mr. Kim. He told me about the incident. When I met Mr. Kim, he told me about the incident. I took a vacation for several days. My feeling has become excellent. I took a vacation for several days and I feel pretty good is what you need to come up with. So you see how these drills work. You see how absolutely thorough they are, how thoroughgoing, and frankly speaking, how deadly boring they are. I could never learn a language from scratch in this fashion, and I don't think that many people can. Let's talk about the circumstances, the kind of student these were designed for, and the circumstances under which they were designed to be used. These were for service people, for people who were drafted into the army during the Vietnam War and were going to be sent to Vietnam not to shoot the Viet Cong, but to interrogate them, or to be sent to the Berlin Wall to listen to a Russian radio broadcast. And so they needed to learn a language very swiftly, and they were drilled by drill sergeants, basically, for 6 or 8 hours a day until they got it. And if you are going to learn under similar circumstances, perhaps you can use these courses as designed, being drilled by the tapes. Some of the strong points of these courses are just that you get a very thoroughgoing method, and you get to accompany it, you get for each course something like 20 or 30 hours of tapes on the to go with. But in actuality, I find I need to tell you something about some of the tapes. For example, the Korean tapes. I never was able to play them for any contemporary Korean who did not think that the main voice on that tape was absolutely laughable and not at all a good model for intonation and the like. And I'm not sure that some of these other courses are much better. Even if they are, the structure of the tape, hearing the dialogues broken down backwards and getting these long gaps for you to come up with the correct answer. And sometimes you don't have enough time, and sometimes you're given much too much. I have a hard time working with these tapes, and if I were just to close in all the gaps and just listen to it straight out, I think that would be better. That would cut the time from, say, 20 or 30 hours to 5 or 6 hours, which would still be good if the accents are good. But that is a strong draw of this course, that you can get a lot of material for it. Another strong draw, as I said, a lot of these courses are in the public domain, and you should be able to get them as downloadable PDF files and MP3 files for free, but that's only about half of the courses. And I don't know, for example, if Shona is available. That is another big draw of these courses. They have languages that are just not available anywhere else. If you want to get a nicer version of it, you can get the hard copy. You can go to the National Audiovisual Center and pay something reasonable for both the 500 or 600 page manual and the 20 or 30 hours of recording, something like $150 perhaps. If you get them from some of the bigger language publishing houses like Multilingual Books or Audio Forum, they'll charge you 2 or 3 times what the government charges you. But you can also get these courses. They're the same courses when they're published by Barron's Mastering Series, Mastering Greek, Mastering any languages, the Foreign Service Institute course. And they reduce the size and make it a nice portable handbook, which is nice. But the way they package it, they say just hear it, speak it, write it, learn to speak fluently at your own pace in your own spare time, develop total fluency. Well, that total fluency bit is no course can do that. That's advertising. But in terms of just using it fluently in your own pace at your spare time, again, unless you are studying somehow under circumstances like those people being drilled in the intensive schools, it's hard to imagine how you could do it. What do I do? How have I made real advantages of these courses? Well, rather than going through all the pattern drills, following those voices in the blank spaces, I like to use these not as the absolute beginner, but when I'm already at the intermediate stage, and I'm aware of my own weaknesses. I'm aware of my own problem structures, and because these courses are so thorough, then rather than being dragged through all of the pattern drills, I go to the ones where I'm frustrated with my inability to speak correctly. If I had known, then I would have done. Well, that's a hard thing to say in a lot of languages. If you can find that exact pattern drill and do that at your own pace, reading through these, then these can be very, very helpful, a very useful part of your learning. Again, they can be your primary method if you like the style, and if not, you can find some way to adapt them. They're out there for you to use, and they're very serious, and you should know about them. FSI courses.